Usually it's never good to intentionally make somebody feel insecure around you. Because the difference between that insecurity and the insecurity that I'm going to be talking about in this video is that the first insecurity, they will respond to the sense of insecurity with attacking you because you become a threat, right? They will do whatever they can to feel secure, even if it means attacking and hurting you. This type of insecurity comes not from validation or the desire to get validation from you, but rather you are just reflecting to them their shortcoming and you have become a threat. That is not what I'm talking about. That's abusive. It is offensive. And that is completely disrespectful to do this. What I'm talking about is you want them to feel a need for you. You want them to feel a need around you, a need that you can meet. The safety you give them, the sense of acceptance that they feel in your presence, once they leave you, reveals a sense of discontent inside. So once you return, they'll have a sense of, I don't want to feel that lack anymore. And so because of that, it creates an underlying insecurity, a natural insecurity. It's like the child who loves his mother and doesn't want to get away from her. They may have a perfectly healthy relationship, but the point is that it's his love creates an insecurity that pushes that kid to want to be around his mother. So it's very important that you guys understand this, because every time I make this type of video, people seem to never really hear what I just said to you guys. And the reason why it's this: everyone possesses a delicate ego that remains concealed beneath a facade of security on the outside. And behind this mask, behind the mask we wear lies the feeling of uncertainty and emptiness. Every single one of us. Your task then is to unearth these doubt and anxiety, leveraging them to guide individuals towards success through your influence. So, and the beauty about this is that when people genuinely like you, when they have an affinity for you, this happens naturally. In fact, you can potentially open up wounds in a person without even knowing it, because they like you so much. You make them feel they're so comfortable in your presence that your absence reveals a deep state of unhappiness. So by seeding the moments of insecurity and hesitation, you position yourself as their rescuer, akin to a guardian figure. The sensation of lacking and yearning forms the foundation of all aspirations. This void in their mind becomes the space where you could introduce your charm, your presence, and your love, which would then entice them to enter your realm. Absent anxiety, without this anxiety, you can't do this. And this anxiety is a reflection of how much they like you, of how much they depend on you, or better yet, how much you fulfill in them, right? Because any addict will tell you that when you get a hit of your drug, when you don't have the hit of your drug, you feel anxiety. And you only feel anxiety because you are addicted to that. And so in your very nature, in just who you are, you create this type of anxiety. That's why you don't have to try so hard. You really don't. You just have to be very cognizant of overexposing yourself, of being too polite, of not really being yourself around them is what really causes this to backfire on you. Let me explain to you why. You see, naturally when you like people, what you don't notice about people who like you a lot is that they're very sensitive, right? They have a hypersensitivity to the signals you send out. And this hypersensitivity tends to create illusions in their minds where they see things that are not there. Where if you don't text them for a few hours, they start thinking that maybe you found someone. Or maybe you didn't sleep over with them that night when you always do. And now they're saying maybe they're losing interest, you know? And so this hypersensitivity comes about because of how much they like you and because how much they realize that when they're not around you, they feel anxious, right? It's that anxiety that makes the love so interesting, so sparky, so captivating. Without that anxiety, it won't be exciting. It just won't. It just won't. And so falling in love with someone naturally creates soft spots in them, right? And it makes the soft spots even softer. And they'll pay attention to the slightest change in your behavior. And this deepening of paying attention is what inspires them to be romantic. This deepening of paying attention is what allows them to remember your birthdays. That's why it's a red flag when they forget those little things. It's this deepening of attention to you is what makes them want to impress you, is what makes them remember the little things about you, is what flatters you, pretty much, right? And this happens because you become a mirror to them, right? Your mere presence is placing a mirror in front of them from which they can see their emptiness, right? They become aware of that lack so that you can feel it on the other hand, right? And the reason why is this is because people are very lazy, right? They're always looking for somebody else to fulfill them. They're always looking for that magic elixir, always looking for that improvement without putting effort. And so the desire to have somebody feel our emptiness is a weakness that we all prey on each other with. Because if people didn't have this lack inside, nobody will seduce each other. Nobody will need a partner. Nobody will need to get married if everyone is fulfilled. People only fall in love and only deeply and obsessively fall in love when there's a lack in their lives. It's just that simple. Without that lack, I don't care. If you're a moral person, then too bad for you. Too bad for you, right? Because even Jesus said, all of you that are weak, all of you that are unhappy, come to you. Jesus didn't say, all you happy motherfuckers come over. No. He wants, even Jesus said, from the mouth of babes comes the kingdom of heaven. Give me your weak, give me your lame, and give me your this, your that. And the reason why that is because the unfulfilled, the ones that need something, are the ones that are easily seduced. The ones that are seduced are the ones that want to be seduced. So there's plenty of people that this works on. This works on you, this works on me. In fact, the feeling of insecurity is a very thrilling feeling because you have no control over it. And that's what makes it so much fun. If you let go of the control and are not afraid to get hurt, these type of experiences are very, very, very pleasurable, right? So remember, the insecure and unhappy are the most common emotional voids that people have. Insecurity and unhappiness, right? And because of that, they are suckers for validation. I'm a sucker for validation. If you're a hopeless romantic, you're also a sucker for validation. And it's very difficult to disguise this. It's very hard to disguise this, right? And so by you filling that void, you have a lot of great power. And this is the funny part, right? Is the way to do this is just be honest. And let me explain to you guys, right? I bet you guys, what the fuck does he mean honest? I never heard him say that word. This is why. When like I said, people are hypersensitive to you when they like you, okay? They're hypersensitive. They see things that are not there. They even notice your little facial expressions. They notice everything. Like a child who needs to impress his parents. They notice all of the little things that you do, right? And one of the things about people is that people who naturally pull away, people who naturally take a step back, they never take obvious step backs. In other words, they don't just stop responding to you for 2 days. They don't just ghost you on a date, right? What that does, it inspires resentment and you want to get revenge. The pulling away that partners do when it's a good relationship is subtle. Maybe you notice them hesitating to kiss you. Maybe they don't sleep over as much as they used to. Maybe there's a certain lack, there's a less emotion when you're around them. Maybe they talk a little bit less. Maybe their body language is usually facing you. Now their body language is slightly turned in this direction. Things that are not noticeable, but if you're hyper vigilant, if you're hyper aware, you're gonna notice that and make connections that are not even there. That's just what's gonna happen, right? And what tends to happen though is that when you like someone, this is something that doesn't happen. You stop being honest with them. You stop criticizing them when you feel like they do something wrong. You don't show them that they're mad when you're mad. They don't clean the dishes, and because you like them, you don't tell them that they got to clean the dishes. When you wanna go on a date, but then you change your mind, you don't change your mind. You just go because you don't want them to feel bad, right? You don't desire your own space, and even when you desire your own space, you don't express it. You don't have those uncomfortable conversations. People, uncomfortable conversations, talks that you have to have with your partners, you know what they are. Everyone has them. Uncomfortable conversations creates a reconciliation after you guys talk about it that actually strengthens the bonds that you have. But in that moment of having those tough conversations, insecurities come up. And then once you guys talk about it, naturally you're gonna feel a visceral feeling of almost like stitching up a wound. And that brings them closer to you. Even if you start acting sporadic because maybe you're a little bit more busy at work, what you will notice is that they're gonna catch those cues. They're gonna notice those cues, those signals that you're sending that you may not even notice, but they're noticing that now you're taking a little bit longer to respond. And what you'll notice is that they may not express anger, but what you'll notice is that their actions, they want to see you more, they want to be more physically close to you. You just notice that they're just more aggressive, right? And this is why. When you feel insecure, your body goes into fight or flight, right? And one of the things that happens with people is that when they feel insecure, they start getting aggressive. They aggressively try to regain your attention, aggressively try to win you over. And that's what I'm talking about when they start being romantic and they start doing things that you wanted them to do before. And a lot of the times this happens when the person is genuinely losing interest or genuinely stopped liking them. And now all of a sudden, once they stop liking them, they want them. And you're like, dude, I don't want you no more. Chick, girl, I don't want you no more. But it's only because now you're allowing them to feel insecure in your presence. When you like someone, this is something that you don't do. You really don't. Honestly, you just don't. You start doing this. You start doing exactly what I said once you mentally check out. Once you say, you know what, I got to break up with this person, but I don't know how to tell them. So in the next few days, weeks, or months, you start being there, but you're not really there. Like your body's there, but your mind is not. And they're going to notice it. Yeah. And you're going to notice them doing more. The person who was cold all of a sudden is the warm one. That's just how that works. So the key to this is, like I said, just be honest with them. Don't lie about your exes. Yeah, don't lie about it. If you usually date girls, like for example, like an example is if you usually date girls with big butts and she doesn't have big butts, a big butt that's an example, right? A lot of times a guy will hide his preferences because he doesn't want to offend her, and vice versa, right? And she's dating a guy, she dates black guys, and now she's dating Bob the programmer. Maybe she won't tell him that she dates black guys, right? But one of the things that happens when you don't like the person is that you are more comfortable revealing those things, honestly. You're more comfortable because you don't give a fuck what they think. And this is why it's so hard to pinpoint why is it that the people we want don't want us back and vice versa. It's because the things that you do when you don't want the person are so subtle that you can't really, it's almost like you're acting the same, but you don't know what you're doing different. What's going on is that there's a pattern that's happening. There's a pattern that you're not aware of. And it's this, is that when you like someone, you're actually just you're less honest with them in terms of the things that could hurt them. You sort of cradle them and protect them from the truth. And this happens with me. Like if somebody leaves the dishes dirty or somebody leaves my apartment dirty, part of me won't tell them. As you know, got to be more confrontational. But every time that I've dated a girl that she called me out on my bullshit, it always made me feel insecure. And that insecurity always led me to see her differently in a positive light. It always does. It just always does. It always does. You know? So that's why you shouldn't be afraid. Call them out. You don't have to lie to people, manipulate them. Call them out on their bullshit. You know, if they're always late, say that. You let them know. Have a conversations. Have conversations. In the first few months, you gotta have conversations with people. Tough conversations. Because you're always gonna encounter friction. And if you don't call it out, you're sending a sign of weakness. You have to have those conversations. They only bring you power. They only make them like you more. And if they don't, and if they get offended, or if they don't want to talk and have those conversations, then that's your cue to leave. Because this is not going to get any better. It's not like all of a sudden they're going to want to have a conversation.
And this is the thing. If you use the strategy and they don't notice you're pulling away, or they don't notice that now you're not as enthusiastic, or that they don't respond to your coldness with extra warmth, it just means that they don't care enough to pay attention. They feel that your absence does not make them feel insecure, and that's your cue. That tells you that they don't care. Like when somebody genuinely loves you and values you, at almost any unpredictable act that you do instills terror in their minds. Instills terror, because it's almost like losing a loved one. Like they genuinely love you, and your unpredictable nature like tortures them inside. And so that's why these strategies reveal what's inside.
And this is how you do it, right? This insecurity is always there. When they stop loving you, you'll notice the insecurity goes out the window. And they start acting in a more distant way that just creates a sense of anxiety inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you do it, people. This is something that happens naturally. And all we're doing is that we're stopping the natural process because we don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want them to feel bad. Don't give a fuck. If you have to offend them because they always leave the dishes dirty, let them know. An example was like I had a classmate named Brad in art school, and this shows you the difference in my personality, right? We had like our tissues to clean the brushes, and they kept using his. And I remember the second day of class, he was like, guys, don't use my brush. Don't use my paper towels no more. Go get your own. He told the whole class that. And we were like, holy shit. But I remember the sensation that I felt was that now I want to, it made me act nicer towards him because I now know he has that side. So you're a little bit more cautious around him. And this extra caution, if you really observe the feeling of it, it's almost like your emotions are more nimble. It's almost like your emotions are more shakeable. You could shake it's like there's almost like a fear of triggering that side of him. And it's felt in the desire to, rather than trigger that more nasty side, I want to trigger that happy side. And you could see how that insecurity makes me treat them with respect a little bit more, because I don't want to see that nasty side of them, because I know there's a nicer side. But then when that happens to me, personally, I don't mind, honestly. It's in my personality to give people stuff, you know what I'm saying? But if I was in his position, I would not tell people that. I would not, you know? Like, I would keep it to myself. It would be good if I did, though, right? And then it just shows you my own insecurities. But the truth is, human nature, people don't push you away because of that. In fact, they respect you more. It's the complete opposite. Your emotions tell you and give you the illusion that it's the opposite. But the truth is, if you actually observe your experience, if somebody does it to you, you'll notice that you're actually more receptive to them. Just people, man. I didn't make people, man. That's how people are. Anyways, if you guys want to learn more about this, you guys can work with me one-on-one to get one-on-one coaching. Okay. And I'll see you guys later. And by the way, see you guys later. All right, guys. So I want you guys to check out my online course called Dark Game. That's right, people. Dark Game. And this course is pretty much, I reveal to you the secret tactics, the secret techniques
to create attraction in almost any woman, right? But not just attraction to the point that makes her want to see you all the time, where she's the one initiating all the contact, right? Now just imagine to be able to keep all of the girls in your life that you lost because of your stupidity. Imagine, and I had stupidity too. Imagine being able to keep them. Imagine being able to have 5, 6 women available to you, wanting to see you. Imagine being able to create intense relationships where they're all doing all the work. People, that kind of stuff does exist, people. Now, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to bang like 40, 50 women. I'm going to promise you that you're going to be able to keep the women you have, that you get with. I can promise you that keeping them will increase with this course. But let me keep showing you something. This course is pretty huge, people. It's a huge course. This course has over 50 videos. 50 videos, right? And some of them you could get for free. If you just sign up, you get free videos, right? But in these videos, let me show you guys the course, right?
All right, guys.
That's me right there, right? In this video, I pretty much teach you guys how to find your purpose. Right? All this is how to find your purpose, discovering your purpose, right? I teach you guys then about female psychology, all of the principles about female psychology you guys need to understand. I then teach you guys the mindset, the proper mindset that you guys need to deal with women. After that, I teach you guys 21 videos on how to game. I mean, it's pretty much unbelievable, man. I gotta make this available, right? But it's unbelievable how many. I pretty much put everything: outer game, social circuit game, strategies, threesomes, foursomes, everything, right? And on top of that, I give you guys a few bonuses: how to overcome approach anxiety, why you can't take actions, a Dickens pattern to change your mentality, how to go from open to transitions, right? 81 minute long, people. This is like, I don't know how long this is, but this is hours, and I mean hours worth of content. And you get a 30-day money back guarantee. I mean, you without questions asked. All for $99, people. This could be around a few thousands, to be honest with you, right? But you guys get it for $99, right? All you gotta do is just go over here, purchase the course, and you'll get access to it. And if you don't like it, you could just message me and get your money back, people. Look, man, don't be hard-headed, people. Don't be hard-headed. This is the course that you guys need, right? It gives you guys everything. I cover everything. I could promise you, man, you're not gonna get a more in-depth course on how to attract women and keep them more than this. All right. Anyways, people, check it out. 30-day money back guarantee. There is no risk, and you can get the free course. You can get the free trial. The free trial are these videos that you get for free, right? You guys could just sign up. You could watch all of these videos for free, right? And you don't have to pay. All right. Anyways, I'll see you guys inside. I want to see you guys inside because, again, people, you can't lose nothing. There's a 30-day money back